For the last 3 weeks, I've been talking to you about the question of, is there business out there? And we've answered it basically, certainly the last 2 weeks, and we'll answer it again in a moment. Is there business out there? Is there business being done as we run through the finish line, as we move to the finish line here? And I'm telling you, every day, I get an email, I get a text, I get a phone call from someone who's telling me that because of some efforts that they did, thank you, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, 6 or 8 weeks, that they ended up opening an escrow, putting a transaction into escrow. They got an extra listing or two because of it. Some of you have had a pretty nice Christmas because of some efforts that you put in there. So congratulations for that. But I want to, there's 1 week left. Well, not a week, huh? What is today? Today's the 29th. Well, I believe you can still get a listing or you can make a sale. But do you think there were more listings or less listings taken last week? More listings or less listings taken the week of December 28th? Less? Okay, less than the week before. You're right. There was 2,079 listings that were actually taken for the week. Now, not the month, not the quarter. There was 2,079 listings taken. And there were 1,651 properties that went pending last week. 1,600 deals. So there's less transactions, no question. Yet there are deals being done. In the last 3 weeks, write these numbers down. In the last 3 weeks, in the CRMLS, there was 8,756 listings taken in the last 3 weeks. 8,700 plus listings taken, and there were 6,254 properties that went pending. Deals are being done. Transactions are being opened. So as we come to the end of the year, as we're running through the finish line, I wanted to remind you of a couple of things. So write this down. Listings are the name of the game. Listings are the name of the game. I've been doing this for 40 years. And in 40 years, I've never seen a year where it was buyers were the name of the game. Even when the market was a buyer's market, when you had the listings, you were in what? Control. You just had to have a lot of listings. That was okay. But instead of having 4 or 5 listings, you had 14 or 15 listings. And you know what? Every week, something was going into escrow. That's the name of the game. I wrote down here number 2. He or she that takes the most listings wins in this marketplace. Today and going forward for the foreseeable future in 2015, he or she that takes the most listings is going to win the game. So I wrote down number 3 is, what changes do I have to make in my activities starting today? What changes do I have to make in my activities starting today to go on 1 listing appointment per week in 2015? Now I want every one of you to write down 1 listing appointment per week in 2015. Just write it down. I don't care how impossible you think that might be at this moment. Write it down anyway. 1 listing appointment, 1 listing taken per week in 2015. Okay? 1 listing taken per week in 2015. Now, I wrote down here, the key to taking listings is self-confidence. And the key to self-confidence is knowledge. The key to taking listings is self-confidence, being confident of the marketplace. And the key to that is knowledge. I wrote down here, knowledge of the scripts. Number 1, knowledge of the scripts. What to say and how to say it at a really high level. Number 2, knowledge of the client's motivation. Why are they doing what they're doing? What's important about that move to them? And the third thing is product knowledge. So it's knowledge of the scripts, knowledge of the clients, and product knowledge, meaning you have to preview all the properties. So in order to do, now we're not going to take 52 listings next year, because the truth is we don't work 52 weeks. Did you know that? Hello? Yes. I know you think you do, but you don't. All right? You don't even work 50 weeks because you say, well, I work 50 weeks because I take 2 weeks vacation. It's not so. It's not how this works. And we're going to talk more about goal setting and the number of days we're going to work in the next few weeks when we do our work on our goal setting classes. But right now, here's what I want you to think about. I want you to think about taking 40 listings. That's one listing a week for 40 work weeks. Okay? 40 listings, 40 work weeks. Now, in order to get 40 listings, most of us are going to have to go on 2 listing appointments a week. Now, stop right there. The minute I just said that, that was it. I heard all the pens drop. There's no way I can get 2 listing appointments a week. But I want you to stay with me right now, okay? Just stay with me. What do we need to do to go get 2 listing appointments a week? Because you've got this drunk monkey on your back saying, no way, no way, no way. Neil's so full of it, he doesn't even know it. He's way out of his tree right now. He's been talking about running through the finish line so long he can't even see. You know, doesn't he understand me? I can't take two appointments. Are you nuts? How is that even possible? I mean, if I get 2 appointments in a month, I'm thrilled. Well, I'm saying to you, we have to turn the knob on the television set. We have to change the channel. We have to change the channel up here. What the mind can conceive, man can achieve. What the mind can conceive, man can achieve. That is not my original thought. That's Napoleon Hill wrote that back in the 1930s. Okay? It's as true today as it was then. What the mind can conceive, man can achieve. So, I wrote down here, you are where you are because it's okay with you. You are where you are because it's okay with you. If you went on 80 listing appointments this year, and you took 40 listings, and only 20 of those sold, that would be for everyone in this room, on average, $200,000. You guys get that? $200,000. Now, I know I'm looking at people here that earn $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, could easily make $500,000 or $600,000 if they would put it in their head to do so. But it's got to start with listings, and it's got to start with this focus. So, let me do this. So I wrote down here a question. How am I going to get 80 appointments? What do I have to do? What activities do I need to do to get 80 appointments in the next 200 work days? 5, 5, 10. A 5, 5, 10! You never thought you were going to get there, did you? How is he going to turn that into a 5, 5, 10? But the truth is, go with me on this, if you saw previewed 5 houses a day, 5 days a week for 40 weeks, okay? That's how many houses a week? 25 a week, okay? So that would be 1,000 houses that you would see, that you'd preview. Now think about this. If you really previewed 1,000 houses, do you think you would have product knowledge, yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely. And if you went and saw 5 expireds a day, 5 days a week, that would be 25 at the end of the week. And for 40 weeks, that's another 1,000 expireds at the door. We know 300 of those are going to be home. And if you talked to 300 expireds because you knew what to say and how to say it at a really high level, how many of those do you think you could convert to listings? 3, 4, 5? I mean, you went and saw 300. How many could you convert? How many appointments could you get out of 300 opportunities? Give me a number. 30? 30 appointments. 100. I like that better. Okay? Somewhere between 30 and 100. All right? But if you use 30 and 15 of those listed with you, right there's 100, well, not that, right there, and half of those sell, that's $75,000 that you would earn just from that activity alone. Now, remember we went to see 1,000 expireds, right? And we went and door knocked 1,000 previews, right? You guys with me? Yep. And if you door knock 10 around each one, that's 10 times 2,000. That means you'll door knock 20,000 doors. 20,000 doors in 200 workdays. You guys with me on this? No, I lost you over here. 20,000 doors. And if 30% of the people were home and you only spoke to 6,000 people, could you get some listings and make some sales from that activity? Yes or no?
Yes.
Do you think you could figure a way to put this all together and make a couple $100,000? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, that's turning nothing into something. That's turning nothing. You got nothing right now, but you do these activities over time, and you then will have something. So write this down. The start that stops most people. The start that stops most people. Lao Tzu, great Chinese philosopher, said, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." Another great teacher, John Maxwell, said, "Success is a journey, not a destination." Success is a journey, not a destination. So if I put both of those together and I combine them, I now have the success journey begins with a single step. Get it? And that's the problem, is taking the first step. That's the problem. We've established that if you do a 5-5-10 over the next 40 weeks, 200 work days, that you could probably make a couple $100,000 a year, or add a couple $100,000 a year to your existing business. That's probably doable. Okay? I mean, I'm getting all this. I get all the time, I get this. Okay? I'd like you to get this. So that's the word that stops most people, the first step. It's the little step that separates abundance from failure. That's what separates most of us from abundance and failure. It's that first step. It's that activity. Now, first of all, congratulations to everyone that's in here. It's the 29th, excuse me, of December. And there's 45, 50 people in this room. Phone canvassing, door knocking, calling, talking to past client and sphere, reaching out to their clients, their past clients. Congratulations to every single one of you, because this morning you took that first step today. because you didn't have to. You had the choice. You could have done something different. And yet, you took that choice. So, it's the one motion, the first step I wrote down here, the one motion of picking up and dialing the first number that separates the winner from the loser. In terms of time, here's what I'm going to say. In terms of time, it's less than 2 seconds that will determine the outcome for you today. And today, really, is whether or not you'll have a great Christmas in 2015 or not. Why? Because the activities you generate today, the calls you make today, the people you see today, the step you took today, will compound and result in business that will close for you tomorrow. A pending next week, a listing next week, another appointment the week after, another appointment the week after. The only reason you're not going on 2 appointments a week is you don't do enough of the activities that we line out for you. Do you guys get that?
Yes.
When you do the activities, I get this all the time. Oh my gosh, I made some calls, I talked to some people, I worked on the scripts, and I have some, and I need the time management class. I'm out of control. That's what I get. Do you guys get this? How powerful and important this first step is? So, I wrote down here, why is the first step so hard? It's a question. Any ideas? Why is the first step so hard? Okay. Because it's too easy. Okay. Okay.
Opening the hardest door.
Rejection, options. Okay. First step is a pain. Picking up the phone, that first step to pick up the phone in the morning, that first phone call is difficult. It's that first step. So, I wrote down here, the pain of discipline we feel now. The pain of discipline we feel now. If I have to come to the office and I have to get my list and I have to pick up the phone, I have to be disciplined to do that, and that is pain now, today, this morning, this afternoon. You guys get this? You where I'm at? When we feel the pain of discipline, it's a now feeling. The pain of regret, the pain that we feel of regret for not doing what we're supposed to be doing, we may not feel for hours or days or weeks. Or remember last January when we said Christmas was coming, but that was so far away, so many months away. And then all of a sudden, so we didn't do what we're supposed to do over those days and weeks and months, the days and weeks and months. You guys with me here?
Yes.
Okay? Then Christmas is upon us. And we have this horrible feeling of regret. If I would have door knocked a few more houses, if I would have worked on my script a little bit harder, if I would have done a 5-5-10 a couple of times more a month, if I would have, if I would have, if I would have, if I would have. It's that horrible pain of regret. But it's future pain, not now pain. Do you guys get this? We have to learn how to overcome the pain of discipline. Because discipline is a pain. It's a bitch getting up in the morning. Okay? It's hard not eating that extra donut or that extra bagel. It is. I know. I got the same issues. You put a bag of popcorn in my house? Whoa. Chips, popcorn, hot fudge sundaes. I'm going to find them. I'm like a heat-seeking missile when it comes to that stuff, you know? This will often cause us to make the wrong selection because we prefer not to have pain now. We prefer to have pain later or never. Get it? So I wrote down here, start today toward discipline and away from regret. Start today toward discipline and away from regret. And I've talked about this paragraph that I read a few weeks ago. I want to share it again with you because I think it's very apropos to all of us and how we feel sometimes. Don't feel badly about how slowly you feel heading towards your goals. It's like it's too slow, it's too slow. You know, I want it now, I need it now. It's too slow. Don't feel badly about how that makes you feel. Overcome that. Head towards your goals. Don't worry about the roadblocks and the detours that you might be forced along the way that we're going to find in these 200 days. Because we're looking for 2 appointments a week. There's going to be some roadblocks. There's going to be some failures. There's going to be some listings that we tried to get and we couldn't get. We're going to have to learn the scripts. We're going to have to learn the dialogues. We're going to have to do the 5-5-10 every work day. That's discipline, the pain of that discipline. But we're going to do that because as long as you're moving forward, you're still cruising far above anyone who's afraid to even get started with that first step. Let's take those steps together for 200 work days, 2 listing appointments a week, 1 listing taken a week. And then next Christmas, let's have the biggest, wildest Christmas party that anyone's ever seen. Now let's go out and make this a great holiday. Thank you.